Hello everyone, welcome to ISM Insider 2022. This year's theme is the new normal. My name is Jugas, I'll be one of your co-hosts today. I'm a business partnership specialist, ISM alumni, participated in various programs in the university after finishing my course and the university itself. Today we will reflect on the last couple of years, on everything that happened and how it shaped up the era of digitalization, how innovation is going to take place, and how everything created a new normal. And alongside with me, I have the wonderful Eglė Jurgaitytė. So, word to you.
Hello, Jugas. Hello, everyone. My name is Eglė, and I am also an ISM alumna, as well as singer, radio, and TV presenter, and the finalist of The Voice of Lithuania. So it's an honor to be here with Jugas as a host, and I'm very excited about all this event, as we're going to have a number of great talks and intriguing discussions. So first and foremost, we will have a very interesting talk about the current trends in the job market. Then you will get a chance to participate in a short quiz and win one of ISM sweatshirts. And just before the break, Indra Blausdžiūnaitė will tell us why sustainability managers are on the rise.
Right, and now let's start with our first speaker. Please give a warm welcome to Eigirdas Žemaitis, who is director of one of ISM's programs, ISM's Entrepreneurship and Innovation Program. And today he will present the jobs of tomorrow and trends that will shape the future. Listen carefully, because afterwards we will have a quiz with prizes. Also, we would encourage you to actively participate and ask the professor questions, as there will be a Q&A session. So I pass our word to Eigirdas Žemaitis.
Hello, thank you very much for the nice introduction, and good morning for everyone. Today, you spent some early morning Saturday for getting interesting information, interesting ideas, and I really hope you will enjoy this event. So today I will speak about jobs of tomorrow, which is kind of exciting because you should choose something. You are looking forward to find some interesting future. So I will give you some ideas. Maybe they are true, maybe not, so you will decide. So first of all, let's talk about existing situations. So today you can read a lot of information, what we can expect, what kind of skills will be important in the future. So this is really important for you to understand that the skills which was important yesterday will be not important tomorrow. And we see a lot of interesting skills growing every year. And I would like to specifically stress something because maybe some of you actually would like to be entrepreneurs. So because of that, I guess creativity, originality, initiative, and specifically active learning and learning strategies are very important if you would like to think about the future. Never forget complex problem solving, because that's where we have a lot of problems today, starting from the pandemic situation, global warming. So the people who can understand complexity and have the system thinking will be really future leaders. And leadership is the core element if you really want to be entrepreneurial and create some value and change the world. And let's dig deeper into today's trends, which I selected for you today to discuss and give you just some insights, ideas, maybe some speculation, but actually it could be some interesting information which you can use for your future decision. I would like to start from one of the things which we can see now everywhere: abundance. Abundance means that we have so many products, so many services, so many applications. We have really a lot of choices. And actually, this creates one interesting thing, because functional and reasonably priced products, just simple think like in this picture, a house, maybe you can live in this, but who would like to live here? Because now people are looking for beautiful, unique, and meaningful products, stories, and everybody wants to have something exciting. And actually, because of that, because it's very difficult today to shine and to stand out, the people who actually can create a nice, meaningful story about themselves, about the products, actually this is where we are going and what in the future will play an important role. And if you like YouTube, of course you like, if you're young people, you like YouTube, TikTok, different social media. So your future job actually can be a so-called digital storyteller. Because if you want to stand out, you always should tell interesting story. And today, most of the stories are told with the digital tools. And it's easy today to tell the stories with the existing tools. So if you like to watch YouTube videos and your parents say that you spend too much time, you can tell them that I will be a digital storyteller. So maybe that will help, I don't know. So it's a bit tricky advice, but who knows? Just try. Because nobody knows if this will not be a successful job. And another one, because today we have so many products, you need really to understand the customers. You need to understand all the needs, what people want, why they want. And empathy is really important skill today. If you can develop empathy and understand other people, you will be a very successful entrepreneur. And today we have so many digital tools which allows us to find more interesting insights about the people, more interesting thinking and ideas. And I call this future job digital empathizer. The person who actually can use digital tools to find out what we really want. Because you can imagine yourself, you wake up in the morning and sometimes you do not know what to eat for breakfast. So how you can know what other people know? So that's really important skill. And in the future, it will be really a very, very interesting job to work. So I would like to switch to another trend, which I called automation, but everybody talk about automation. And automation is something obvious today. Everybody talk about this. But I would like to give you a bit different perspective on that. And I will give you a couple numbers, which I think you should remember. COVID actually helped us to have more relationship with the machines. And kids at the school started to use Zoom, teachers started to use Zoom. So we had a bit different relationship with the technologies when the COVID happened. And what we see in the work situation that actually it's a lot of remote work. A lot of people switch to the remote work. And that's actually something what economists and scientists spoke years ago, that people will switch to remote work, and instantly everything happened in one night. And because of COVID, actually, we see more and more digital tools applied in the business. So that creates a lot of possibilities for people not only to use the tools, but also to create those tools as well. And if we look at the relationship between machines and humans, we see that actually after 5 years, that's exact years when maybe you will graduate university. So remember, 2025 for you can be really important because after 5 years, after 3 years, if you will study, a quick program, you will go into market and aware that actually, it will be really dangerous because it will be almost equal work done by machines and by the humans. So that's really important. And be ready to give some tasks to machines. Actually, don't afraid them. If the work is boring, give it to machines. And you can enjoy more creative work. You can create amazing stuff. And you can satisfy yourself with this. So don't worry about this slide. Actually, it's a good news because a lot of boring work will go to the machines. And another interesting challenge, which actually this number presents, that 50% of all workers will need reskilling by 2025. So it means if you learn something today, it is possibility, 50% chance that you need to relearn this And actually, that's also opportunity for you. Always look for the new skills, and that's why learning skill is extremely important today. So learn how to learn. Start it today. Don't wait for some 5 years in the future university. You can do it already in the school. And another interesting thing is that 40% of the core skills, which actually people learned at universities, expected to change. So that's exactly a new normal. A new normal which tells if you learn something, expect that you need to forget it. So, but don't worry, it's just new opportunity for you to learn new things. Sometimes it sounds scary, but actually it's a very, very important thing which you need to take into account. And of course, there's a lot of information about, that some jobs will be replaced by the machines. Don't worry about that. As I said, boring jobs will be replaced with the machines, and people will start to think more creatively, do more innovative activities. And that's the good news, because today we have so many popular relationships with the robots. Automation, robotic processes are everywhere. If today you checked your Facebook feed, you actually interacted with the robot. So that's normal. And sometimes people feel good when they do not see robot. Like Facebook algorithm or other social media algorithm. They do not think, oh, that's machine. They think it's perfectly good, system, stream, news, and so on. What is interesting to mention that because machines actually are very, very sometimes humanistic, you see online a lot of videos with talking heads and something like that. So sometimes people are scary about this. And what is important to understand that in the future there will be a problem for some people to have relationship with the machines, because the robots will look like scary objects, plastic objects moving in your house. So actually the job which will help people to create a more valuable relationship with the machines can be something interesting to look at. So if you like, let's say, home animals, pets, maybe your job can be to help people to have similar relationship with the machines. Think about that. Nobody knows. The third trend which I would like to review is the positive impact. So today you know that a lot of people talk about global warming and reducing of the pollution. Actually, that's really important factor for the future of jobs, because more and more sustainable projects we will see, more and more innovations we will see, like this hotel in Chile made from everything inside this hotel is upcycled. You will find this old doors from the barrels of wine and so on and so on. So there's a lot of possibilities to do this. And of course, green jobs where the people can feel that they go to the environmentally friendly offices, they work with the digital tools who do not have the impact on the environment, will be something interesting to look at. And the fourth thing which I would like to also mention, and also related with the previous trend, it's the personal expression. So today everyone wants to be a better version of themselves. And if you buy some product, if you do something online, it's because you want to be a better version of yourself. And that's okay, because a lot of people have the ideas, idealized version of themselves. They follow some people, some dreams. And actually future job will be really about big impact. Big ideas like flying somewhere to the space, solving really interesting challenges. And that's perfectly fine because, you know, people, as vice president of Nike once said, that people do not want to just do it. They want to have help me just do it. I would like to have tools to be a better version of myself. So this job which creates the tools, which helps people feel much better in the work, it's really important. And because everybody wants to search for self-actualization, everybody wants to be a more clever person, actually, it's not only important who I am, but who I'm seen to be. And today, and most of the jobs of the future will be expression of my persona. So you can expect really interesting titles because you can create your own title. You are not obliged to be some specific salesman. You can say, I'm not salesman, I'm a storyteller. And that's perfectly fine because that's how it expressed my idea, my personality. So never afraid to be different, never afraid to invent something by yourself because your job will be expression of yourself. And you should feel good about this. And the fifth one thing which I took as some interesting thing because today everybody is excited about experience. So we have customer experience, we have user experience, we have virtual experience, total experience. We also should have employee experience, that your job is something where you can feel that you experience this working place. And today a lot of people speak about metaverse. I guess most of you have heard about this and most of you are excited about metaverse. So if you want to dig deeper into history, the definition of metaverse appeared in 1992. So if you are interested really into philosophy of metaverse, you should read this novel and you will get some ideas what it's all about. And today we have companies like Facebook who decided to create the company which will focus on the experience. So you see that experience starts to be a really important thing in our life. And maybe recently you have heard about the artist, Beeple, who sold the picture for $69 million, digital picture. It's imaginable, it was imaginable years ago, but now it's perfectly fine that you buy a digital picture which you can download for free, but you pay $69 million for that. And the person who paid was a Meta Cohen. This person actually told that metaverse is something which actually will be the future, how we interact. And sometimes I'm very skeptical about this, but when you listen to the people who actually dream about different future, you will see that those people are capable to achieve it. Like if Elon Musk says that he will fly to the Mars and that's his dream, he will definitely achieve this. So I think that after 5 years we will speak in some metaverse. The ISM Insider event will be in the metaverse and you will buy my NFT. Yeah, I'm joking here a little bit. But actually the job which will be really important in the future and will create a lot of value will be those experience creators, the people who understand experience, the people who are passionate about experience, and the people who actually can help to create really interesting world for us. So I guess I run over 5 interesting trends. I took them by myself. It's not necessarily true because prediction of the future is really a difficult job. You never know what happens, but you can see those weak signals today. And I tried to give you a couple of weak signals which I presented. But finally, I would like to say the most important thing, that future of work will be not only what I have said, but in my point of view, it will be digital tech, understanding of digital tools, love for digital tools, passion of digital tools, creation of digital tools, and plus your creativity, how to use those digital tools. So if you dream what you will do after 5 or 10 years, remember one thing. Digital will be one pillar in your profession or in your job, and creativity will be a second one. So do not wait for the magic happening in the future. You can start the magic today. And I just would like to finalize with my final slide that even if I gave you a couple of ideas what the future job will be, still you have chance to invent your own job. So this is really important message for you, because if you dream about something, that could be your job. Never listen to the experts. Try to find your own way, because sometimes experts, they have their own way, but you can find your own way. So thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for this curiosity early in the morning. I hope I gave you some insights about the future, and you will use them to invent new job for yourself. Thank you.
Eigirdas, thank you very much for such an inspiring and interesting speech. And now we have a couple of questions from the audience. So the first one is, how likely is that new occupations that emerged during the pandemic will become irrelevant after everything goes back to normal?
Yeah, that's very good question. The answer which I can give in this case, that we will never come back to normal. So, because if you look now at the big tech companies, people do not want to go back to the normal. They expect that they will work some percentage of the time as they work now on the pandemics. So if you gave the people chance to be free, you will never put them into the cage back. So basically people had experience that they can enjoy the planning of the work. When you feel most efficient, you can work on that time. You can find the best place for you to work to be more efficient. So nobody wants to come back. So the big companies, the situation in the big companies shows that it will be, it will not disappear. So it will be some kind of compromise between new normal and the old normal, but it will never be old normal.
Okay, thank you very much. And what challenges or advantages do people that have relatively new occupations face?
What challenges new occupation face? Yeah, as usual, you never know what will be in the future better than you. So maybe the new profession will be better, because it's very difficult to predict. We can see 5 years, there will be not big changes, so we can rely on today's situation and trends. But after 10 years, we cannot rely on that. So after 10 years, we rely only on imagination, what we can imagine, what we want to achieve. And if we say that, okay, there will be occupation after 10 years, like space advisor, if you fly to the space, some people will prepare you so that it will be. So the challenges are the same. If your profession is new, one day it will be old. And this profession will be old sooner than today, because everything is much faster. The change is going faster and faster. So if you have new profession today, it will be faster old profession.
Okay, so thank you very much. It was a pleasure to have you here. And now it's time for a quiz.
Yes, we've already answered some of your questions in the Q&A session. And now it's time to test your knowledge, to test how well you were listening. And so we invite everybody to go to slido.com and join us at #ISM Insider. And you will have a chance to win ISM jumper designed by ISM and Robert Kalinkin. And you will have a chance to take a look later on how this jumper actually looks. But you'll have 40 seconds. Please, when signing up, write your name and surname before starting the quiz. So this is going to be from what our presenter presented right now. And so we're giving you a couple of moments to sign up, and then we'll start the quiz. And hopefully, I wish everyone tons of good luck and a chance to win the main prize. So once again, that's slido.com, #ISM Insider. So just a couple of moments for everybody to join in, and then I guess we'll be able to begin. So let's go for it. Oh, we got people joining in. So, first question. Which skills are important for entrepreneurs? Creativity and initiative, problem solving, leadership, active learning, all of the above. So 20 seconds left. If you were listening, you'll be able to answer. So once again, hello to everybody who's just joining in. We have 10 seconds left. Just a couple of more moments for you to answer. Don't forget, you can win an ISM jumper. And that's it. So let's see how the answers shaped up. Looks like a majority of you answered all of the above, while some of you mentioned creativity initiative, while the actual correct answer is all of the above. So congratulations to those that answered correctly. Let's move on to the next question. What % of workers will need reskilling by 2025? So is it 35%, 50%, 65%, or 72%? So congratulations to those who answered the first question correctly. We have 25 seconds to answer this question before we move on to the second one. Think hard, go with your gut, follow your intuition. 10 seconds left, just a little bit more before we move on to the next question. As you can see, there's going to be 7 questions in total. So, a majority of you think it's 50%. You can see how the answer shaped up, while the actual answer is, we can see that it's that the correct answer is B, 50%. And a majority of you answered correctly. So next question. Future of work, very simple. Future of work equals digital tech plus creativity, sustainability plus initiative, innovation plus remote work, responsibility plus courage. Our professor right here is hoping you get this answer correctly. And we have 20 seconds left. Once again, future of work equals what? So just a little bit more time, 10 seconds left. Hello to everybody who's just joining in. And let's see, in 5 seconds, we'll know how you answered. How did the answers shape up? So 82% of you think it's digital tech plus creativity. And a small percentage of you think it's the other 3, while the correct answer is, well, it is digital tech plus creativity. We have the professor very happy right here next to me. So congratulations to everybody that was listening. All right, next question. Which profession will be on the rise? So first, personal shopper, digital storyteller, lawyer, or engineer? So 30 seconds to answer this question. Make the professor happy, and hopefully in turn, you'll make yourself happy with a brand new ISM jumper. You'll actually we'll have a chance to see how it looks. So 15 seconds to answer the question. Once again, which profession will be on the rise? And we got 7 seconds left. It's a little bit more time getting those final answers in, and we'll see how it shaped up. So a lot of you, a huge majority, think it's digital storyteller. Maybe some of you hoped it would be personal shopper, because that sounds very cool. Engineer, but the actual correct answer is digital storyteller, with the majority of you answering correctly. So congratulations to everybody who answered correctly. And let's move on. So by how much did remote work increase during the pandemic? 56%, 92%, 34%, or 83%? So, numbers. Think long and hard, but not longer than 25 seconds. So, by how much did remote work increase during the pandemic? We have just a little bit, 15 seconds left to get those final answers in. 10 seconds now, so we're approaching the final part of the quiz right now. So, this is where winners are made. And right, so we have 2 groups. So 30% of you think it's 56%, 57% of you think it's 83%, and some of you split it. While the actual answer is 83%. So once again, congratulations to the majority that answered correctly. And let's move on to the final 2 questions. So next question. What % of current worker skills are expected to change in the next 5 years? 40%, 18%, 60%, 85%. So we have 27 seconds left to answer this question. If you were listening, you'll know. If not, good luck on guessing. And final question, so we'll see who the winner is pretty soon. And we have just a little bit more time, 10 seconds. So take your picks, and we'll know the answer shortly before we move on to the final question for the ISM jumper. So there it is. So we have half of you thinking it's 40%, and then at the bottom we have two groups thinking it's 60% or 85%. So let's see who was correct. The actual answer is 40%. So half of you were right. Congratulations. And I guess we can move on to the final question. Will humans face problems when creating a connection with robots? 50-50, yes or no? The professor is smiling right here. You can't see him. I can tell you, trust me. We have 25 seconds left. Simple yes or no question. Well, not necessarily so simple, but this is for the ISM jumper in collaboration with Robert Kalinkin. And after this final question, we'll calculate the results. We'll know the winner. So 10 seconds. Take your picks, and let's see how this shapes up. And, well, we have 82% of you thinking that it's a yes, and 21% thinking that it's a no. Surprising results, or not. Oh, so both of you were right. We have a yes and no. Obviously, I think the professor would elaborate that it's a big and tough questions to answer, so yes and no is correct. I would just like to remind to those who don't win, you can buy the jumper. Just drop us an email at shop@ism.lt. And now we will calculate the results. And congratulations, actually, we already have the leaderboard, the top 5. Was that inadvertent? Doesn't matter, we'll make another announcement. And it's time for our second presenter today. So a warm welcome to Indra Blausdžiūnaitė. She's a senior sustainability strategist at a Lithuanian startup, Trafi. And she will tell us more about what it means to work in tech, and what it means to work in sustainability as well, and what career paths will be most will be most perspective for the future. And
yeah, unfortunately, Indra couldn't be here today, so we filmed her speech a few days ago, so she hopes you will enjoy her speech and learn something new.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, I hope you're enjoying the event so far. My name is Indra, and today I would like to tell you about the job of a sustainability strategist and what it means to work at a sustainable company. And I wouldn't be surprised if none of those 3 words are entirely clear to you. So that is what I'm going to share with you today. What is a sustainability from business perspective? What is a job of a sustainability strategist? And what does it mean to work at a sustainable company? So first of all, the S word. I'm sure that even those who are not really into the topic must be hearing that all over the place every day. But what does it really mean? It became a mainstream only a few years ago, to be honest. And in 2019, it was selected as the Word of the Year by the Oxford University, and usually that's the place, that's a concept and the title given to the most emerging and pressing issues of the time. So in 2019, climate emergency was the keyword by the Oxford University. But in fact, more broadly, it was started to use also very recently, only in the 90s, the term of sustainability was started to use in academia papers and by some institutions. But really mainstream, it got only a few years ago when in 2016 it was a climate conference held in Paris, also known as Paris Agreement, another buzzword that you must have heard of. And that's where, that was the place where a lot of new commitments, new rules were signed by countries, by cities, by companies, and new laws were adopted around sustainability. And that's where companies and countries started to react on the term. And therefore, as a result of that, today we are hearing it a lot. But what does it really mean? If you would try to Google sustainability, I'm sure you would find a lot of similar images to this one, something greeny, something leafy, shiny, but again, not entirely clear what it is and what it is not. Sustainability also has a lot of symbols or interpretations of it. It's often linked with activism or with some individual efforts. You might have friends who are turning to be vegetarians, families who decide not to have children, people who are obsessed with not using plastic bags and plastic reusables. All of those, of course, are important efforts. But it doesn't change the fact or the main source of where the problem is coming from. And sometimes it can be misleading or even a bit depressive to realize that you might do a lot of efforts, but as long as business will go as usual, the world is not really going to change. And if we want to understand how to fix the problem, we must know and be aware of the main causes of it. And those are the 6 industries or the 6 areas that are actually in charge of the situation that we are in today. And if you think about it a bit deeper, you will see that only a few of those can actually be influenced by each of our individual efforts. So we might be a bit more aware of what we're eating and that the food products would be produced locally. We could commute differently and not to have an individual car. But the rest of it is really a broad topics and big things that can't really be changed individually. And it's in the hands of businesses and governments. I don't want to bother you with numbers, but this one is pretty important. To me, it was also a game changer to help me understand where is the best place to act. So every year, our Earth is polluted by 52 billion tons of greenhouse gases. And only 0.1301 of it can be changed if each of us neutralize our behavior. So it means each of our individual effort is really, really tiny compared to everything that's been polluted around us. And this was even more shocking to me to realize that it's only 100 biggest companies who are polluting 2/3 of the planet. So 70% of the pollution is coming from around 100 of biggest players, when the rest of us, all the inhabitants, all the other businesses are actually in charge of only 1/3 of it. So if business is such a big game changer in creating the problem, can it also be the one to fix it? I believe that yes, and I would like to share with you the 2 perspectives of how business can make the change today. So first of all, net zero. Again, another buzzword that you might hear quite a lot. Googles and Amazons and Apples of the world have shared their net zero commitments in the recent months. A lot of smaller companies are taking that road as well. What does it mean? Net zero is when company agrees or commits to emit zero emissions with their operations. So it means that their production, their activity would cause zero pollution, additional pollution to the planet. And the main areas to change that, to tackle that, is with change of sources of the energy, so moving to the green electricity and power plants, reducing your waste or going into circular models, changing the supply chain and working with more sustainable suppliers, reducing the activity of the employees, such as commuting, business traveling, and so on. So quite a lot of steps that companies can take in order to be net zero. And basically, that's a job of a sustainability manager at a company to make sure that those steps are accomplished. First of all, that the pollution, the footprint of the company is calculated, because what you don't measure, you can't manage. And then it's about reducing, setting reduction targets, finding the sustainable suppliers, finding the right offset projects, communicating that change, educating your employees, your stakeholders around the company, and well, quite a lot of activities and quite a complex role within the company. But from the other hand, this is like a hygiene factor. This is like cleaning your kitchen after a dinner party, making sure that what you will leave as a company behind is zero. Another and more important step is the companies who are sustainable or impact-driven by default, so impact companies, impact businesses. Those companies are by default, by their nature, established in order to create solutions that would give an alternative to the most pollutant areas. Just a few examples that you see here. So yeah, maybe wind energy is not so new, but for example, there are companies today who are creating concrete and cement, not from the usual stone materials, but by capturing CO2 from the air and turning that into stone. Or those machines who are actually directly capturing CO2 from the atmosphere and turning it into different materials. So basically, innovation that is there by default to work on a climate change. And the job of a sustainability person in that company it's much more broad, it's much more complex. It could be from a market overview and understanding the innovation that is needed, a lot of data analysis, and basically working on the innovation concepts and helping company to understand what kind of changes, what kind of innovations are mainly needed today. Of course, it's also a lot of testing, a lot of product design, and really broad scope of topics. And I would quickly like to share about Trafi, because that's a good example of a sustainable company in its activity, but also an impact company. So you might know Trafi as an application to use public transport in Vilnius. We are actually doing much more than that. We are creating a white label technology which is used all over the world, from Bogota to Jakarta. We are helping cities or companies to implement that technology and run sustainable network systems. As a company, we are also, we've committed to net zero, and we are calculating our emissions, we are reducing it, and we're working with offset projects. So we are net zero with our operations, but also we are creating solutions that are helping to reduce the negative impact or actually create a more positive impact. So this technology is about helping people to commute more sustainably, and as I mentioned, that's done with cities and with companies. So for the companies, maybe that's easier to understand. It's like a sustainable mobility budget. So a company to their employees, instead of company car, they could give this mobility wallet and allow employees to travel more sustainably. And what does it all mean to a sustainability strategist like myself? So if you're wondering and thinking about this role, I must admit that I wasn't trained to be a sustainability strategist. Actually, most of the people who are doing this job today didn't have that background, because 10 years ago when I was at university, there wasn't a program called sustainability. So my background is business communication. Then my main activity was around strategy and strategic work for creative industries, and I mainly worked with technology, life science, and quite a broad scope of brands and companies. But always, in addition to that, I was doing a lot of reading, a lot of self-learning, a lot of sharing with peers and exchanging and collaborating with people who are doing more around sustainability, because that's always has been a topic dear and interesting to me. And maybe one of the ingredients and skills that I still see as a driver today is an expression that I love. It's bold, not perfect. It is really helpful sometimes because we all face the moments when we think that we don't really know anything, or the change is happening too fast and we can't really change much with the activity we are doing. So this is helping us to put myself back to reality and to understand that even the smaller effort that you do, it can actually cause the change. And today my job, my day goes mainly working around those activities. So it's quite a lot of innovation strategy work and doing a lot of research and understanding how our product, how our solution can bring the biggest influence and what innovation is actually needed today. But also it's quite a lot of calculations and work around reducing our own footprint. So the net zero and ESG strategist, and then communications about it. So helping people within the company, but also outside the company, to understand why is it needed and what is it that we are doing. And of course, as always, quite a lot of research, reading, and the background knowledge work. And to be honest, it does sometimes feel a bit overwhelming. It can really be scary sometimes to realize that, well, we don't have much time to do the job that we are here to do. Sometimes we don't even have the clear guideline, and a lot of improvisation is needed. But a positive side of that is that people working on sustainability are really collaborative, really sharing and helpful to each other. So that's the power that helps us. And sometimes it does feel that we are sort of on a mission, and that even the smaller efforts can actually ignite a bigger change. And that is a really rewarding feeling. And I hope that more of you guys will think about this area and will decide yourselves to look up and maybe help others to look up as well. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. And otherwise, have fun.
What a great speech, so thank you very much. And as you can see, not only companies, but we all together can contribute to a more sustainable and better world. So if you're getting a little restless now, let's have a short break. But in the meantime, I would like to present Rapolas Meškauskas, who is not only a performer, songwriter, and a participant in many TV projects, but also a student in ISM International Business and Communication program. Music has been part in Rapolas' life since he was 4 years old, and the love for the business began at school. And after graduating from high school, Rapolas decided to merge the two worlds together and study at ISM.
Does it remind you of someone?
Oh yeah, it definitely reminds my own story, so it only proves that musicians are studying at ISM too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Rapolas, the stage is yours.
Man taip sunku pasirinkti, Galbūt aš tau kažką netai pasakiau. Svarbiausia šiandien tik laikas, nors ir žinai, kad nebebus kaip anksčiau. Aš nadžiu jūroje akių tavo, ieškojau perlų, tik tai jų neradau. Ir dabar man taip sunku pasirinkti, galbūt aš tau kažką netai pasakiau. Aš žinau, į savo laimę abu keliavome savaip. Tik gaila, kad mano juokas tau niekada nebuvo mielas labai. Savam kely sakei, kad pavargai, sakei, kad nori kuo greičiau mane surast. Aš taip norėjau tuo patikėti, bet melą nesunku suprast. Niekada neužburs jos, nenuskęsiu akise tavo aš. O ne, per daug sunku pasirinkti, galbūt aš tau kažką netai pasakiau. Aš žinau, į savo laimę abu keliavome savaip. Tik gaila, kad mano juokas tau niekada nebuvo mielas labai. Aš žinau, į savo laimę abu keliavome savaip. Tik gaila, kad mano juokas tau niekada nebuvo mielas labai. Žinau, linkiu sėkmės tau. Žinau, surasiu naują kelią sau. Aš žinau, į savo laimę abu keliavome savaip. Tik gaila, kad mano juokas tau niekada nebuvo mielas labai. Aš žinau, į savo laimę abu keliavome savaip. Tik gaila, kad mano juokas tau niekada nebuvo mielas labai. Naktis ir aš ne vienas, aš jaučiu žvaigždes. Ir visos mintys bėga. Aš žinau, tu tiki manimi. Tik lieka nerimas širdį. Ar viskas tikra, kas vyks naktį? Galbūt turėjome per daug minčių. Sulaukti ryto dviese kartu, uždegti saulę ir mūsų akys dega po bemiegės nakties. Degam po bemiegės nakties. Vėl ir vėl grįžtu į naktį, akyse ugnis. Gali nebūti tu šalia manęs, vis tiek lieku dabar. Tik lieka nerimas širdį, ar dar galiu kvėpuoti šitoj naktį? Galbūt per daug ilgai tęsęs. Aš žinau, kad be šitos vilties sunku kvėpuoti bus mums abiems. Ir mūsų akys dega po bemiegės nakties. Degam po bemiegės nakties. naktis praeis, galbūt per greitai. Laikas nesustos ir akys dega po bemiegės nakties. Ta-ra-ta-ta-ta. Degam po bemiegės nakties. Oh. Degam po bemiegės nakties.
Welcome back, everyone. Hope you had an excellent and great break. It's an exciting moment for me because today we're going to have a hopefully very interesting discussion. And I've been given the honor to moderate it. And we'll talk about latest tech innovations and that have changed and continue to change the world. And we have two special guests today. So we have Jarūnė Prikšaitė, marketing manager of the planning platform Vavro, board member of the mentorship program, well-known, doing good work in Lithuania, Women Go Tech. And we also have Kasparas Aleknavičius, who is head of medical affairs at the startup Kilo Health. How are you guys doing?
Quite good. Hi.
Great.
Hi. Right. Okay, good. Hope you're ready. Hope we're going to have an exciting discussion. Don't be afraid to speak your mind. That's the whole point. So, first question. Let's define innovation and digitalization. What do these terms mean? Who would like to start?
Maybe Jarūnė.
Jarūnė, you have been passed the torch.
Okay, so innovation. Innovation is something new that was not done before, so it can be not necessarily the technological one,
Right.
but it can be a new method, for example, to say it very in simple way.
Right.
And the digitalization is the adoption of the technology to bring some kind of different values to the business world, to society, to various factors in the society as such.
All right. Well, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, maybe then know that they can work interchangeably, like in a closed loop. Like
Right.
innovation can precede digitalization, like computer or iPhone was an innovation, and we use them to digitalize our
Right.
daily activities. And it can work vice versa. When you adopt digital technologies,
Okay.
when you digitalize, you somehow notice new abilities or new functions to be implemented, and then it could lead to innovation.
Okay, that's a very good point, that innovation can actually precede digitalization. But let's move on. Let's talk about the last couple of years. So what happened? How did the pandemic affect the digitalization process? Did it speed it up? Did it slow it down? And what are your thoughts on the last couple of years? Kasparas, maybe.
Yeah, so to be honest, I do not remember how the world looked like before the pandemic already. Yeah, but like in our industry, or maybe in a broader context, like those part of businesses that are facing the consumer or the user,
Right.
That interaction is more digitalized nowadays. In our industry, the change is quite evident. It was, driven in healthcare. It was driven by the demand
Right.
of the users, demand for the remote consultations, remote monitoring. It's all about convenience and speed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So remote. Everything started happening remotely in the healthcare industry, right?
Yeah, not everything, but most of the things.
Right. Okay. That makes a lot of sense and an interesting point. And what would you say to how would you describe the last couple of years?
I think we had really unique situation.
Right.
Because it never happened for us before. And I remember the first lockdown and all of that, when you're sitting and you're thinking of course, the uncertainty about your health, about your family, what will going to happen, but as well about your business as such.
Right.
If we will not innovative, we will not be innovative, if we will not take the digital technologies to fasten the business,
Right.
where we will end up. Actually, we will fail. So it pushed really, really hard, I think, us further in every single aspect. We took our supply chain, how we are interacting with the consumer, how we can fasten the processes, how we need to change it, what we are going to do exactly with the health, if you cannot go directly to the doctor.
Right.
And all of these things, it hit it in every single way. And the technologies as such, they really speed it up quite a lot.
Right. So just to sort of like to comment on your point, like what you're saying is the pandemic put companies in a position where they had to innovate, right? There was no choice. Is that correct?
I think that absolutely yes. Sitting in the company and leading, you need to figure out the way, okay,
Right.
how we will work now, because it's the new reality that we
Right.
live in. And if we will not do anything, so that's it, we should close the business. It
Exactly.
will not work.
Swim or sink sort of situation, right?
Yes.
Right. So, and in the healthcare sector as well, I believe should have been also a big push from the consumer side as well to have it, if I understand correctly.
Yeah,
right?
basically from the consumer side or also from the technology or startup side, they're pushing. Yeah, maybe it wasn't up until the pandemic. It wasn't one of the business priorities,
Right.
For example, hospitals. But now most of the time it is.
Right. Yes, and especially for people, pandemic healthcare related, people still wanted to stay healthy even remotely, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, touching on that point, Jaruna, what do you think? What opportunities has digitalization opened up?
I think we saw in a couple of years like the huge booming in the startups. We already see in Lithuania in the news all the time, the new ideas are coming up.
Right.
And it would not be possible if we will not be pushed so much, because we created quite a lot of business that did not existed before. Of course, that quite a lot of startups fail, and we need to understand that. But those who are surviving, they are
Right.
thriving like really maximum, and then they really changing the industry as such.
Okay.
So I think as well what we are pushed and what we see in Lithuania, the employer branding as such, also so much change, and the capacity of the talents, how much we need those people.
Okay.
And the industry is also huge, and you need quite fast and to prepare the specialists that
Okay.
they would go and take the working places and innovate as soon as possible.
Okay. So, if I'm asked, you said employer branding has changed, right? A lot. Would you care to comment? How do you think specifically and how do when we're talking about employer branding, we have a lot of young people watching this event right now. How, when there's employer branding is changing, what should a student know? Do you have any comments?
I think that maybe I said it not correctly, the employer branding as such, this is how we are representing the company, but in general the workforce as such changed really drastically, because before, I would say from my perspective in the company, I didn't even imagine how much I can do just sitting at home
Right.
and interacting with people,
Okay.
and having everything done from home, from my couch, even if I want, or
Right.
whatever the environment I created. I don't know, even going somewhere else with not matching time zones, let's say like that, and you can do everything. And then, it broadens also your understanding that I can be the global talent.
Right.
Not necessarily working here. I can travel. I can do whatever I want because I'm capable to work. And I'm not judged by how much hours I'm sitting in the office or how I'm interacting only there. And this is a huge, huge thing. And of course, raising quite a lot of challenges too. How we are managing the workflow, how we are cooperating with people, and how we are succeeding in business objectives.
Okay, very interesting. And for students, watching this, Runa mentioned that you can view yourself as a global talent, not only as a local talent. But Kasparas, we would also like to hear your thoughts on the opportunities that digitalization opened up.
Okay, so Runa mentioned internal business changes. But in healthcare sector, the digitalization opened up, business opportunities. Like now we can more easily educate the patients and the doctors because they are already somehow familiar with the technologies and how they work.
Okay.
Because one of the biggest bottlenecks that we have with the adoption of our technologies is patients and providers' education. So that's a big opportunity to jump in. And also, all of the businesses became more receptive to technologies. Now they are accepting pilot studies with our technologies more easily.
Okay.
Pharmaceutical companies have those separate innovation departments that are allowed to move faster than the whole corporation, test things.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. Let's move on a little bit. So both of you work in startups, right? Good. And can you tell us about the companies you work in and what, innovative solutions you offer? So maybe Kasparas, first question for you. So tell us about the company you work in, that's innovative solutions. Yeah.
Okay, so Kilo Health is kind of fun and serious at the same time.
Right.
It's fun because of the, most common startup perks and people, workers being younger age, I think. But on the serious side, we offer chronic disease self-management or remote patient monitoring solutions that are mainly mobile apps. They do have value proposition both for the end user and for the provider.
Okay.
We're basically sometimes they're innovative in a way that we are trying to replace as much human resource as possible.
Right.
Shorten the time of visitations by giving reports to the doctors and so on. That's the main thing and our focus.
Okay, so for any student watching, what should they know about the company you work for? Just like shortly summarize. How would you describe it for a student?
Yeah,
I'm sure so many students are interested in this company.
Well, it is currently undergoing its fourth or fifth stage of maturity.
Okay.
It is like moving from that startup-ish environment more towards more controlled environment. But nevertheless, it's fun and we're doing great things.
Okay. Yeah. Very cool. So let's move on to Irune. Can you tell us about your company and the innovative solutions that you offer?
I'm working at a company which is called Favro, and we are a collaborative planning solution. So we are the platform where people collaborating to achieve business objectives.
Okay.
Love my job. Really, I am ambassador of my job. It's Sweden-based. The co-founders are Swedes, but they opened here a new branch where I'm running marketing activities. I think the innovation and what we believe and what we are doing, we are trying to do the innovation in the workflow, how you can cooperate. Because currently, most of our clients, game development studios, people are working all around the world with different time zones, with different cultures, all of that. So how to unite everyone working for the same goals? The old way was for sure that you gather everyone into the meeting and then you say, so you will do this, you will do that.
Yes.
And then we splitting the tasks and then going and working on it separately. But how to make it happen that everyone would be capable to work really autonomous way, but still to see how my task contributing actually to the overall business. So this is what we're trying to do, to visualize this process as much as possible and to gather very different specialities from the developers, marketing people, finances, that they all will be capable to understand what company is doing, what are the plans, and work autonomously there.
Right, so very good point. And for students watching, so you would say that focusing on building a set of skills that allows you to work autonomously would help you find your place in an environment like that. Is that correct?
For sure, yes. I think none of people currently wants to be directed and specifically said what to do. This is your to-do list and you need to do this and that. So you want also to create and contribute in your own way. So it's very important for us how to save that autonomy and help also the business leaders, CEOs with that kind of solution, help out actually still to be as much effective as possible.
Okay, very cool. And I have a follow-up question on what you mentioned earlier. We talked a little bit about video games. So is it true that the company you work for, Favro, provides innovative solutions for such games as FIFA, Call of Duty Warzone, and the very famous League of Legends that so many of my friends have lost a lot of time playing? So is it true?
That's true. We have quite big names in our portfolio, and game development studios are, with our help, the platform, they planning their in the platform, what they will release, how they are working, and all of that. They are very picky ones. And they're really, the IT guys, they already really nerds, but game development, it's like different, a different world even.
Okay. Oh, sorry, did you want to add?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
we can proceed.
Good, thank you. So, so if you're a student watching this, there is an opportunity to work with your famous brands, most favorite brands, while being here in Lithuania, still as a global employee. Now,
I think we heard one of the interesting things that currently we are recruiting quite a lot of people.
okay.
And in one interview, the person who is applying said that, finally, someone said, yes, great that you are doing games, you're gaming, you are passionate about games, because all my life, my mom and my dad said, like, what you doing? You're wasting your time. And there is the company which says, yes, if you're a gamer, come to us.
So he's in a position where he could tell his parents that you said this will not help me find a job.
Exactly.
Well, it did. Wow. See, so that's how digitalization changes the world, right? So, but let's move on to a little bit more broader topic. So it was said that by a research agency that just in a couple of months, when the pandemic started, the digitalization accelerated by 3 or 4 years. Did your companies introduce innovative solutions during that pandemic? Kasparas, would you like to touch a little bit upon that?
Well, maybe not innovative per se. We do have R&D department. They most of the time are in the stealth mode. I know that they do have innovative solutions, but like we were able to add, some, as I mentioned, business opportunities. So we were able to add more unique selling points or value propositions, because everyone started using, for example, in the US, they started using care navigation platforms. They're using telehealth, and we're
Can you
able.
tell the students a little bit more what that is?
Yeah, when you do have 500,000 of digital health apps and you need to choose one, there are platforms to do that.
Okay.
Based on scientific evidence, for example. And we can integrate into those.
Okay.
We can also integrate into telehealth platforms.
Okay.
So that gives us, some kind of novel position in the market. So I could tell that that's innovative in terms of interconnectivity and what we can offer.
Okay. So maybe you could say that some companies were doing already innovative solutions that put them in a position to use them when COVID happened easier. Is that correct?
Yeah. They are putting us in use for the end user. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have anything to touch upon from your company? How did it change, in any innovative solutions during the pandemic that you introduced?
I think that our product as such is quite innovative one.
Okay.
And we did not innovate in innovation, but what we saw that the end user got quite a lot of demands and the differences between equalizing what they needed.
Right.
And for us, for example, what was one interesting thing, not interesting, but the necessity became data security.
Right.
People started to work from everywhere, so you're at home, you're not necessarily can use the VPNs and all the security systems. And it raised quite a lot of the questions how we actually can protect all the information and what we can do with all the personal data, all of that, and be really sure that the product is really safe.
Okay. So security became a big issue as well. All right. So, what do companies post-COVID, what do companies need to do to stay competitive? What do you think?
Well, I think there are so many things that you need to stay competitive and what you can do for
Of
that.
course.
For sure. So I think one of the things that is, at least in Lithuania, is very important. So working with the talent pool, how to ensure that your people are happy and you're providing the best value for them and excitement to work in the company. Next thing, I think it put it quite a lot of the things in the first priority, how we are continuing digitalization and doing the innovative things in our company and how we are actually fastly adapt to the user's need.
Right.
So this adaptation, it seems easy, but at second part, it is not. You always need to think around and introduce new ways, because everyone is playing the same game and you want to serve the clients as best as it can be.
Okay. Is there anything for you to add to her points?
I think Jaruna mentioned in her previous answers, the competitive advantage of being ready to attract global talent,
Okay.
To have workers from all around the world. Of course, it depends on your business and service, but you have to be ready to do that.
Okay, all right. And you touched upon, and I think this is, I'll be honest, this is not here on the list, but I still want to ask it, because I know as a student when I was younger at school, this was something extremely cool to me. So you talked about keeping employers happy, right? And you talked about startup tech perks. Can you both tell some of the perks that, students watching, if you wish to work at a startup, what are some of the perks that you see at a company? What those perks are, maybe, Kasparas?
Well, yeah, of course, it depends, varies from person to person, but we're spoiled in every kind of way. Like, we do not have working hours, which is amazing for me. We do have bars, which is also amazing to me, because we have our own gathering points, and we are, we are designing them, we're designing cocktails for them, so we do have this leisure and free time to spend together.
Right, okay, very cool, see? So, so many untraditional ways to keep your employees happy. Do you have anything to add that you've seen in your company in terms of perks?
Well, we have quite a lot of perks. We have the newest technology always. You will always have the newest iPhone and the computer and all of that. But for us, still the main and the most important thing, that people will be connected within our problem, what we are aiming to solve.
Right.
And this is the workflow, how actually people can work in the most effective way. So when we are looking at the talents, the perks are never the first thing what we are saying.
Okay.
The first thing is, are you a passionate gamer? Are you capable to understand our audience that we are working with? And are you passionate about this problem? If you're not, it's not enough just to be passionate about the technology, something new, and so on. It's the exact problem that we are solving. I want to be on board. And it's the most important thing for us. And if a person is more interested only in the perks and what he or she can get from us, like, I don't know, additional vacation or something, then it's not a person for us.
Yeah, totally agree with that.
Okay.
Perks are just, like a secondary thing.
Nice things,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, it's nice to have, but it's not.
Maybe
main.
working with your favorite, having that exact, following the company's mission, or working in gaming, or helping people, solve their health problems is the biggest perk itself, right? And Jaruna, you've worked in multiple startups, and you've founded some your own. Can you tell us why startups specifically are currently on the rise?
I think that startup is a unique business, unique unit as such, which is creating, and is if the startup is succeeding, then you're creating something which did not existed before, and that is really, really unique thing. And this is the main driver of the economy and actually the whole society that you're pushing further with those innovations. And as I mentioned, of course, that my own startup failed. But that's okay, because for sure that we don't see so many of the failures and so on, but it keeps you moving and thinking again, okay, what we can do with some kind of the problem that you are passionate about.
Okay, very, very cool. And to move on a little bit from that, Kasperi, we talked a little bit about the perks, so my question is a two-part question. I'm interested, why do people, transition from corporate jobs to startups? What are some of the benefits, despite, of course, we talked about how the perks not necessarily the main driver, but why do people what are the benefits of working at a startup versus, you know, a corporate structure? Not necessarily saying that anything, you know, any of those is bad, but why do people want to work and transition?
Yeah, I'm not so sure about everyone. Maybe from my own perspective, it is the impact that your job, your role, most of the times in the early stage of the startup, it's very broad, and every, you know, decision or move you make has an impact on basically on the whole startup,
Right.
on its business strategy. So this is important for me. Also, in current stage, for example, for myself, it is the scalability of a role. So you have your own role, you have your own responsibilities and jobs to do, and then you have to scale it across multiple products of the same company. So that is very exciting for me.
Okay, so to any student listening and any young person, if you were going to work at a startup, you're going to have the chance. Am I correct in, you know, saying that you're going to have the chance to have more impact versus a corporate structure? Is that correct?
Yeah, most of the times I assume so, especially in the early stage.
Okay. Now I have a very interesting question for both of you. So maybe Kasper, we can continue. What did your career journey look like? You know, how did you start? How did you end up here where you are right now? Did you always think that you were going to be working at a startup? So tell us more about how you got here.
Yeah, no, I didn't think about it. Well, I started as a doctor, but I worked as one for a very short period of time. Didn't like it very much. Went into the public administration of European projects, IT projects, then into data analytics and private health insurance, and then I went to Kilo Health.
Okay.
So that's the journey. Because mainly because Kilo Health was, and in a sense still is, the only place to work in a health tech in Lithuania.
It combines both of your skill sets, right?
Yeah,
If you were supposed
actually, yes.
So good. So it also, once again, a career journey doesn't have to be, you know, like this linear. It can be up and down. Is that correct, right?
Yeah,
Changes,
I think so. Yeah.
A lot of changes. Yoruna, what about you? What's your story?
I also didn't think that where I will end up, let's say like that. In the school, I was really not good with math and something that you need to count, honestly speaking. So it was more, for me, was kind of normal to go for the specialities, which included languages, something a bit to that side. And then in the university, I joined some organizations, youth ones, and there I actually started to try doing some projects, some communication came in, how to communicate those projects and so on. And I like that. And it's nothing related with my studies, nothing related to what I thought that I will gonna become. But one thing to another, I was always in the communication field. So every company that I joined, I still was managing marketing part.
Okay, very good. So you're an inspiration to anybody watching that doesn't like math, and you could still find your role in a startup and be very successful, such as yourself.
Well, I think that currently marketing is quite a lot about math, and I'm pretty good at those Excels, and I'm capable to count everything what I need. So it's for sure enough.
Enough. Well,
of
there
course,
you go.
I cannot do the logarithms or something like that now, but it's for sure capable to count really a lot.
Well, there you go. You know, even though you didn't like it, you still found a way to sort of use it and become adept at it. So that's excellent. So, but I know a lot of people want to find out, what does a typical day in the tech, in the health sector looks like? You know, how does a day look like from your perspective, maybe from the company's perspective? So could you touch upon that? How does it look like?
I think only imagination somehow pushes us to think that, I don't know, we are doing something during the day super exciting, but it's actually pretty usual working day. You come to the office, or in my case, currently working from just other room in my apartment.
Okay.
So usually you have a stand-up, which is the morning meeting with your team. You review what are the objectives, what we need to do, and then you're working, going to those meetings, discussing the things and planning around the tasks that you have. And for us, it's maybe the more specific thing is that we have quite a lot of change always because it's the marketing field, so you need to adapt quite a lot, and something is not working, so you're coming up with a new idea. So the day, quite a lot of the times, if you have, let's say, some kind of to-do list, what you need to do, well, finishes up in the different ways, and you see that you made quite different jobs. But it's kind of peaceful. It's nothing so much that, we're sitting there and then doing something we need to create, something, technology.
Okay.
So usual day goes like that.
Okay. So, and thank you for explaining to anybody watching a stand-up. Not everybody can know a stand-up is a daily meeting discussing tasks, right? To-do lists, and every company has its own. Kasparas, would you able to touch upon maybe the health sector has its own specifics?
I don't think it has. I could add, everyone mostly works in sprints with also daily stand-ups.
What is a sprint in this case? Can just
for
any student watching?
Specific period of time to do something or implement certain function.
Right. Okay.
Let's call it that way. But so fundamentally, it's the same. You're sitting in front of your computer, you're meeting with someone, reading, discussing, writing, preparing for something. I do like from my own perspective, I do like the detective part of my job.
Okay.
Just to monitor where the market is going with the investments or acquisitions, so you can get ready for the future.
Right. So it's sort of like a detective, it's like Sherlock Holmes of the healthcare sector.
Well,
no, just kidding.
There's also a detective part when someone is not working as it should work, and you have to find the answer. That's also very interesting for me.
Right. Okay. Very cool. So, what changes and innovations await in the future? What do you think?
Many of them. You've mentioned blockchain, I think, yes. Today.
We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it.
Yeah. So, I could say that in our industry, anyone who could offer seamless data collection, let it be, non-invasive sensors or on or in watches, let it be, smart toilet seats that measure your blood pressure and the composition of your urine, like everything that is related to seamless data collection would win the market, I think.
And by seamless data collection, you mean to collect it as easy as possible,
yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. So making business gathering data easier is going to win. That's going to be the next innovation.
Well, yeah. At least in our industry.
Yeah. Okay. Very interesting. What do you think?
I would agree also. I think it's still the same where we are going with the innovation, the same data collection, the security issues that we're facing, how we will ensure the security of our data, what will be the protection, the blockchain mentioned. Those things are continuously bringing the innovations, and that will not change so drastically in those several years.
Right. Okay. All right. So next question I think is really important and interesting for any young potential startup employee, entrepreneur watching. What skills do you think we need to thrive? What skills do we need to possess to thrive in the future? What qualities are going to be, the most valuable in the new normal? You touched a little bit about the autonomy. Is there anything else you would add for, if you were a student, young student, what would you focus on?
Well, I think that the most important thing always, what will be the constant and always will be soft skills, because we always will need to interact with a human. So we need to be able to communicate to each other and to find a consensus in quite a lot of the things. We will always need to do the time management of hours, do the goal setting.
Okay.
So the soft skills, I think they were like really, really important ones, and sometimes they are underestimated in school environment, let's say like that, because we put in more the other knowledge, let's say, not so much the soft skills.
Okay.
But that thing is really, really important because it quite many times compensates that you don't have at first, when you're only stepping into a work environment, the technical skills as such.
Okay.
But the second part, they are also very important ones. You cannot just go through the life without something that you really know and mastered. So, so for sure that is also important wherever you will choose. You want to be a very good developer, so choose some of the languages that you really want to master it. So that's also really important. But well, it depends, of course, where you want to be.
Of course, yeah. I watch a lot of Gary Vaynerchuk, so I'm sure he would agree with what you're saying. Soft skills. Do you have anything to add? What do you think? What qualities will be the most valuable?
Yes, I would also bet on soft skills. To be more specific, for example, right now, since the world is interconnected and will be interconnected more and more, I would try to learn about new markets, not exactly be, only in the one that you are working in. And currently, for example, I'm trying to learn about, since the world is interconnected and we have a lot of international meetings, I'm trying to learn new languages, cultures, geopolitics.
Okay.
Just, to, of course, to be better with the soft skills, with talking,
Everything is becoming interconnected. Okay, so final question for both of you. When I was a young, especially student learning at ISM, everyone working in the tech world looked extremely cool and amazing, just like you two. Now, for any student watching, any recommendations, any final takeaways, what would you tell them?
I love these questions. Yeah.
You love them?
Yeah, I do have 3 points for this.
Good. Okay, let's hear
Yeah,
it.
so read books. Same old personal development that everyone always recommends, those 7 habits, how to win friends, all of that. Everything about soft skills. So yeah, read books. Have a mentor. Have several mentors. Switch mentors. Don't be afraid to do that. And the third one is like my favorite saying about what being brave is, like that. It is being afraid, but doing it anyway. So be afraid and do it anyway.
Okay.
Actually, one is matching in my list. So have mentor who is helping you to explore and understand the business sector or the specialty where you want to be. A second thing, I think that it's very, very important to try as much as you can. And what I mean by that, it's really, really hard to choose in school already what you want to do. Of course, there are cases for sure, and great for those people. But I think most of them, you still don't know where you're really good at, where you maybe don't like it to be. And try as much as possible, go for youth organizations, do some projects with them, change these things, go for the internships. Companies are really open. So you will have the touch and the feeling what it actually means to sit for 8 hours minimum in the work and just do the thing what you are hired for. Okay. And that is quite a challenge, I think. And the first job for me was it's like, oh my God, I'm not going to do that for all my life. This is so boring. Even at first, the imagination was that, yeah, for sure, I'm going for that, and this is the dream company or something. So try as much as possible. Still, the young days are for exactly those things, to fail and then to figure it out what you are passionate about. And when you will find it, then life is really easy because you love what you do. So.
Totally agree.
Thank you, guys. Well, it's an extremely intriguing discussion. I'm sure so many points to take away from here. And before we move on, I would like to, invite you to a ISM hosted hackathon, which is happening. It's organized by ISM's Digital Lab. It's happening from the 18th of February to the 20th of February. You can sign up on ism.lt. And a hackathon is a place where students can experience, get a little bit of a taste of what the startup world and the tech world is like. As you will work in various workshops, you'll learn from various mentors and hopefully meet like-minded people and build the next great startup or the next great idea. So be sure to register on ism.lt. Once again, I want to thank my speakers here, not my speakers, the speakers that joined us today, Jarūnė Prikšaitė, who is a marketing manager at Vavro and a big part of Women Go Tech, and Kasparas Aleknavičius, head of medical affairs at a budding startup, Kilo Health. So I invite everybody to a 5-minute break, and then we'll continue with another speech about cryptocurrency. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Welcome back, and it is my pleasure to introduce our next guest, Nicholson. Tom is a businessman and crypto investor who is confident that cryptocurrency is the future of money. In 2016, Tom has made his first investment and now is ready to share his personal experience with all of you. So Tom, the audience is yours.
Thank you very much. So good afternoon, everybody. My name's Tom Nicholson. Just to introduce myself, I'm British and I moved to Lithuania around 8 years ago. I've always been entrepreneurial. I've had successful businesses both in the United Kingdom and here in Lithuania. As was mentioned, I made my first crypto investment back in 2016. But to be honest, I didn't really pay too much attention to it. I bought some Bitcoin and it sat there in my wallet. Over the preceding months, I watched the investment go up about 20 times and then all the way back down again as the market crashed in 2018. But a little bit later, at the beginning of 2019, I suddenly spurred a massive interest in cryptocurrencies because I understood, or I began to understand, that blockchain and cryptocurrencies can indeed change the world. So I have considered myself to be a full-time crypto investor, probably for around about 3 years now. Obviously, the crypto markets are incredibly volatile. They go up and they go down. And to give some context to this speech as to where we are today, the market is in a state of capitulation today. There was a massive crash overnight, and the whole market is falling very fast. And it seems like the world is going to end in the crypto market. Of course, it's not, but that is the sentiment in the market today. So that might give you some context into how I'm talking today. Now, cryptocurrency is new. It's only been around for just over a decade, and in that time, it's made some people incredibly wealthy, and it's also lost a lot of money for people as well. So really, in cryptocurrency, there's only really two questions, and that is when Moon and when Lambo. These are crypto memes, but the majority of people are interested in cryptocurrency because they see it as a get-rich-quick scheme. And certainly there's been a lot of people who have made insane amounts of money in cryptocurrency and continue to do so. Lambo has become a meme of crypto because it's such a sign of opulent wealth. And so these are the questions that bring most people into cryptocurrency. Now, as the market goes up and the price goes up, you see more and more people get interested and involved in cryptocurrency. It's a momentum thing. And then as the price comes down, a lot of these people lose interest and fade away, and perhaps never to return, or return when the market picks up. So really, the predominant driver to bring people into cryptocurrency is money. Will I get rich? Possibly for me, it was the same. But as I spend more and more time involved in cryptocurrency and involved in blockchain, it's become so much more than that. So the short answer is, will I get rich? Yes, you will over time. But the long answer is, well, quite possibly not. And so we will have a look into some of those reasons as to why cryptocurrency will not make you rich. So let's get into that. First of all, what is a cryptocurrency? This is a question that I get from a lot of people all the time. What actually is a cryptocurrency? So as we can see from CoinGecko, currently there's over 12,000 cryptocurrencies listed. And new ones are being created every day. But what actually is a cryptocurrency? Well, let's have a look. Hint, it's not actually a currency, or most of them are not actually currencies. So a crypto is a tokenized asset, and it's residing on a blockchain. Now, so a crypto asset is a much better term for a crypto than a cryptocurrency. So let's get in our minds that it's an asset that can be traded or transferred or on a market. Now, the asset can have utility, it can have governance properties, or it could have absolutely no use or underlying value at all. So let's look at something. So Ethereum. Ethereum is the second biggest cryptocurrency in the world. It is basically the foundation of the decentralized web. On Ethereum, you have thousands of developers creating what we will call the Web3. And Ethereum is the Ethereum blockchain is hosting a large percentage of this decentralized web. Now, Ethereum, the cryptocurrency, is used to pay for gas transactions. So all of the smart contracts that the dApps are built on need to use a little bit of Ethereum to make them work. So in this case, Ethereum has a use in the fact that it's used for gas in the decentralized web. Other tokens might have governance properties, so they might have voting properties or some kind of significance where they can be used to guide a protocol in one way or another. And other tokens such as Shiba or Dogecoin, they actually have no underlying value or use in them at all. But people are still interested in them, primarily as part of a community. So yeah, there's all sorts of different cryptos. Now, the blockchain records all of the transactions and all of the ownership details of each crypto. And on the blockchain, this is immutable, which means it can't be changed. So it's a permanent record of what has happened to each cryptocurrency and each individual token throughout its whole life. And this is very, very important. Often, startup projects will launch a cryptocurrency or a token as part of fundraising. Now, this is different from issuing shares. They're issuing a token which is part of their platform, so to speak. And the token can be used in many, many different ways, and people will buy or sell the token according to the performance of the project. Now, creating a token literally takes just a few minutes and just a few dollars. We could take a computer today and we could mint maybe 100 billion tokens of Tom coin, and they are there. They're there on the blockchain. Now, does that make me a millionaire or a billionaire? No, because I have to create the value for that token by persuading people that these tokens are valuable. And of course, we have fungible tokens, which is crypto as we know it, and NFTs, which is non-fungible tokens, which we'll come on to in a moment. Now, Bitcoin. Bitcoin currently represents around 40 or 41% of the market capitalization, the value of the whole crypto industry. So it's very important that we understand what Bitcoin is. It was launched in 2009. It was created anonymously. It's gaining traction by larger corporations and even small countries into this year. So we've got El Salvador, who have launched or have started Bitcoin as national or legal tender in their country. We've got large corporations such as MicroStrategy, who have bought a huge amounts of Bitcoin into their treasury. And then we've got companies such as Google and Intel who are just starting to come into cryptocurrencies. And then the big the one that we're all waiting for is Apple. When Apple implements cryptocurrencies into the iPhone, this is going to be a landmark moment for crypto. And I would imagine that should happen in this year. So, Bitcoin being such a dominant force in the market, it's setting the trend for the whole crypto. And now we have to understand that the Bitcoin market is $600 or $700 billion at the moment. It's still quite a small market as financial markets go. So it can be manipulated, and it is manipulated, and so we need to be careful. Also, trends and cycles. We have to understand that the economic backdrop and the financial sentiment of the world is affecting cryptocurrencies. So obviously at the moment, there is uncertainty with the economic data. Inflation is increasing quite sharply. And people are a little bit worried. There's sell-off in the mainstream financial markets. And this affects cryptocurrencies, which is part of what we're seeing over the last few days, and we will continue to see with this cryptocurrency crash that is happening literally as we speak. We also have to understand about the BTC cycle, the Bitcoin cycle. Bitcoin has a halving event, which we won't go into today, but every 4 years, which ultimately creates and increases its value to people. And the last halving was around about 18 months ago. And so we have to understand where we are in the Bitcoin cycle, because this can help, this can influence the whole crypto market. Also, FUD. This is fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and market manipulation. So big players, big crypto owners, governments, regulators are all using PR in a good and a bad way to influence the market, and they're doing this all the time to shake out investors and to move the market in the direction that they want it to go in. And so we have to understand that there are a lot of forces at play in the crypto market, some good and some very bad. Also as well, we also have to understand the big thing of if we're in a bull or a bear market. 2021 was really a year of the bull market. Prices went from at the end of 2019, around $6,000 or dollars for a Bitcoin, and went all the way up to 69,000. And now it looks like 2022 is going to be a bear market as the market comes down. Now, anybody looking to invest into cryptocurrency should always look at this indicator. It's called the crypto fear and greed. Now, this is a very simple metric which takes social media, it takes data from the markets, it takes a whole load of different parameters and puts them into a simple read, which is updated once every day. Now, currently, at the moment, as I checked it before I came into this screening, the fear and greed was at 13. Now, that means extreme fear. Now, as a rule of thumb, investors should buy at these times. It's been proven by looking back at data that buying when there's extreme fear it often is a much better time to buy than at other times. Now, on the flip side, when the market is very bullish and prices are going up, and it seems to be at that time when prices can never go down again, that's when we enter into the extreme greed, and this indicator can tell us that. And usually, this has been proven that this is a great time to sell, even though it feels wrong. It feels like everybody's trying to buy at that time. Volatility, we spoke about this. The crypto markets can go up and down. I mean, they have lost 10% overnight. They lost 10% yesterday, and probably will have a bounce next week. So they might go up another 10 or 15% next week. So volatility is very large in cryptocurrency, and this is something to be careful of, because it can be a wild ride, let me put it that way. Volatility can be a friend, but it can also be a foe. It can mean that we can make big profits, but also have big losses. It's very important to understand the psychology of the market as well. Human beings, particularly in markets, do the same behavior over and over and over again. It's hardwired into human beings. And once an investor, particularly a crypto investor, can understand that, they are going to be more successful. On this graph, it looks like we, unfortunately, are in one of the worst stages of the market, which is capitulation. So this is the point where everybody is selling because they've lost faith in the market. Bitcoin is going to zero. Cryptocurrency is a fad. It's not real. This is, I'm going to sell. I'll take my money and I'll run away. And then eventually, in a few weeks or in a few months, the market will pick up and the cycle will begin again. So this is a very important psychological tool that we have to use as investors. Now, cryptocurrencies, they have different consensus mechanisms behind them. Let's just touch on that briefly. Proof of work is, for example, Bitcoin, where you have thousands of very high-power computers doing lots of complex calculations, and that's what runs the blockchain. Proof of stake, for example, Cardano, is where we stake our coins and get an income from that. Now, as an investor, that's very, very important. So staking is very similar to putting your money into a bank account and receiving interest. Although instead of receiving 0.1 or 0.5% like you might do in a regular money bank account, we can get much better yields. So this is these are slightly out of date, but these are representative of what you can get in crypto. 6%, 13%, and even there's products out there which will go much, much higher, 40, 50, 100. There's even products out there which will give thousands of percent of yield. So cryptocurrency is certainly a place where you can grow your money. Now, there are risks. Big risks, and we need to understand these. Cryptocurrency is still in its infancy, so the mechanics behind it are still being built. Now, you can lose your wallet. Many people have lost Bitcoin. There's only 21 million Bitcoin will ever be mined in the world, and it's estimated that already around 4 million of those Bitcoin are lost forever. A Bitcoin wallet or crypto wallet really is stored on your computer, and it's backed up by things called private keys, which are words, usually 12 or 24 individual words. Now, if you lose your computer or your computer gets ruined and you don't have those private keys stored, your crypto is gone. There is no way of getting that crypto back. You can't call up your bank and say, please, can you reset my account? So you can lose all of your crypto that way. Hacking as well. Hackers will get into your computer and potentially steal all of your crypto, as well as phishing scams, so emails that invite you to put in your details into a phishing site, and suddenly all of your crypto is gone. As well, we use exchanges to buy and to sell cryptocurrencies, but keeping our coins and our tokens on cryptocurrency exchanges is a bad idea. Exchanges still in this day still get hacked. Now, hacked sometimes is questionable because large amounts of crypto disappears, and it's not really explained because this industry is still slightly unregulated. So the rule of thumb is do not keep your crypto on exchanges for any longer than you have to. There's a saying that says it's not your keys, it's not your crypto. If you don't own your private keys to your crypto, anybody can take it. And also as well, regulation is coming. In 2022 will be the year that the regulators come down very hard on cryptocurrency, and that remains to be seen how that works. Now, we couldn't discuss cryptocurrencies without mentioning NFTs. NFTs are non-fungible tokens. This is actually the world's most expensive NFT. It's a piece of art by a digital artist called Beeple, and it's called The First 5,000 Days. Now, this sold at Christie's auction house last year for $69 million, and effectively, it is a JPEG. It's a very nice JPEG. It's around 5,000 different pieces of art in a collage. But this is a landmark moment that something was able to be sold for such a huge amount of money, which is effectively just numbers on a blockchain. Now, NFTs are predicted to become even bigger than cryptocurrency as a whole. NFTs are going to become part of mainstream life. What we have here is, some popular NFTs. Some of the NFTs are sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars, and some of them are used in games as pieces of the game, and some of it is just collectibles or is art. And people are going crazy for NFTs at the moment. So actually, as the crypto market is going down, the interest in NFTs is increasing. So this is something that crypto investors need to be aware of. Now, it's probably about time that I put this disclaimer in, is that you should not invest in crypto what you can't afford to lose. And this is a really very serious point. You can lose every single penny that you put into crypto, so please, please be careful. Now, tips for students. This is what you could do right now. Now, none of this is financial advice, so you should not take this as financial advice from me, but this is my opinion, and this is what I would do myself if I was in your shoes. I would buy some Bitcoin and hold it. Actually, with the markets going down, the time in the next few weeks and months is probably going to be a very, very good time to buy Bitcoin. So if I was in your shoes, I would buy some Bitcoin and I would just hold it. I believe that owning a Bitcoin or a decent part of a Bitcoin will change your children's lives in a way that we really don't understand. So please, just think about keeping some Bitcoin. Now, also start playing play-to-earn games. These games will give you crypto as part of being involved in their ecosystems. This is something that you can do rather than playing your regular game, play a play-to-earn game and gain crypto that way. Learn about NFTs. Now, NFTs are going to be the future. As I said, they're going to be our cinema tickets. They're going to be the transactions that we buy and sell our houses and our real estate from. They're going to become every single part of our life. So please learn about NFTs and become comfortable trading them. Also learn coding if that is your nature. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but if coding is your thing, learn it and specialize in what is going to be good for the blockchain that you're interested in. Invest in yourself. Crypto is not going away. It is going to be the future. So please learn about as much of it as you can, and also start buying some crypto. As I said, the next few weeks and months are going to be a good time to start building a portfolio. It doesn't matter how big that portfolio is. You can start with any size of portfolio that you like, $1, $10, $100. Okay, so that's my speech, and I'll open it up for questions.
Yeah, thank you, Tom, for such a great and practical presentation. And now some questions from the audience. And they're asking, isn't cryptocurrency just air or nothing that some people convince us to invest and kept getting more people into it?
It is possible to look at it like that. And obviously from the outside, when a cryptocurrency being just numbers on a blockchain, it is possible to take that opinion. But every part of our lives is going to be digitized, and money, of course, is going to follow in that way. So obviously, when we spend money on our Visa or our MasterCard, those numbers are in our bank. This is all digitized, and this is just the next step, the next evolution of the money. So you can take that opinion, but that's going to hold you back. So I would say embrace.
Okay, so is it possible that cryptocurrencies will completely replace money in the future?
Absolutely. Most governments around the world are working on CBDCs, so central bank digital currencies. Now, this is a good thing and a bad thing. What this means is that probably within this decade, the euro and the dollar banknotes are likely to disappear. And they will be replaced by the digital euro, the digital dollar. What that means is that every single transaction will be trackable. Blockchain means that everything is recorded, and it's recorded forever. So that means when I buy a cup of coffee, everything will be recorded, and the government will see everything. So it will revolutionize money, but it will also revolutionize the way that money is controls us. So cash and all of the advantages and disadvantages of cash will disappear, and they will be replaced by these digital currencies. So it's absolutely the future of money.
Okay, so what will happen if the market crashes?
The market will always crash. What's happening today, it doesn't scare me at all, because actually over the last 5 years, I've seen it happen so many times. The first time that you're in cryptocurrency and you see a crash like today, it's really worrying, and often you panic sell, and you extend the crash, and time has taught me that the market will always recover, and that's what it will do.
Okay, and what's your opinion about Metaverse crypto? Any tokens that you personally kept an eye on?
Absolutely. So the metaverse and gaming is going to be a large part of cryptocurrency. In fact, again, people predict that it's going to be larger than cryptocurrency as a whole. So owning digital land is a possible way to do that. The one which seems to be at the front of this race is Sandbox. Owning digital land on Sandbox is already prohibitively expensive. It can cost tens of thousands of dollars for even the smallest parcel of land. And don't forget, this is digital land. But we have to look at that big companies are already buying this digital land. And so it's often shrewd to follow the smart money. And big corporations often are smart money.
Okay. And how long do you think the current bear market will last?
So the previous bear market in 2018 lasted for around about 12 months. And so we could assume that this bear market might last that long. But the way that the market has evolved and has matured, I think that the bear market will be shorter. What will happen this year with institutional adoption of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, and as we mentioned, small countries coming on board, these factors are going to influence the market and start to push it up. So the market will continue to fall until there is a catalyst which will start to push it up again. And this can happen literally at any time. But with the crypto market, things move so fast, it won't be long before the market turns around.
And the last very interesting question from the audience. China has already banned cryptocurrencies. Russia is set to follow. What are the chances that our countries in European Union considering doing it as well, having in mind that Europe is all about ecology and preventing global warming? Okay,
so as I said, regulation is coming for sure. Yeah. Now, China has appeared to ban cryptocurrencies every 2 to 3 months for the last three years. So this is a common thing. It's usually a source of the FUD, so the fear, uncertainty, and doubt, which is used to manipulate the market. Russia is probably doing the same kind of thing. There's obviously world events which are happening at the moment, and cryptocurrency is just used as a pawn in that game. Now, the wider crypto market is incredibly volatile. The European Union suggested banning cryptocurrency mining in the European Union. So this is the Bitcoin computers, which use large amounts of electricity. But I think this is really just talk to influence the market. What we have to understand is that the governments in particular are trying to influence us. And some of these talk is just used against us to manipulate the market. So be careful out there.
Okay. Thank you very much, Tom. It was very, very interesting. And we're having such a great time here. However, all good things must come to an end. So we heard so many stories and interesting perspectives today, but we still have one special guest left. So I would like to invite Dr. Dalius Nisiūnas, the president of ISM University of Management and Economic, to summarize today's event and to leave you with some inspiring thoughts. Hello, Dalius.
Hello, Agla. Hello, everyone. So great to be here today and listen to all the presentations. Thank you very much to all participants and for sharing their insights and their thoughts. And, while I was listening to the presentations and I was trying to imagine myself in the shoes of someone who today is still at school and is planning their future, looking into this exciting world. And I was trying to imagine, so how would I feel? How would I feel if I was in your place? And a few thoughts came to my mind. Well, first of all, what an exciting world is around us. This is what I discovered from the presentations and the ideas and data that has been shared by the presenters. Then I was thinking, wow, there is so much we don't know about the future. Actually, there's quite a little we know about the future. And that, again, brings me to the idea that there's a huge opportunity for us in the future, and of course, for someone personally, for me. But then I got a question. So what do I need to do? What do I need to do to tackle this opportunity? What do I need to do to use this opportunity? And that brought me to some very important questions that I am sure every one of you is also trying to answer. Well, let's begin with the most difficult one. What is my purpose? What are the things that I love doing and also that are making impact to make the world better? The things that would keep me awake at night. This is the question that we all are trying to answer. Once I know what is my purpose, the natural question is, so what do I do? Where do I start? What are the things that I need to do today to prepare to make an impact, to prepare to live my purpose in the future? Once I have ideas about that, obviously, another question that comes to my mind is, so what are the people, who are the people that will help me? What is the network of relationships that I need to build today to be ready for the future? And the final question that would be coming to my mind is probably the most essential one as well. How do I learn? There are so many things, so many keywords we heard today during the presentations that it's still hard to understand, that we know that we don't know a lot about. And this means that we need to learn many things along the way. Actually, we will be learning all our lives. It's inevitable. New things will be coming, the world will be changing, our lives will be changing, and therefore learning will become a lifelong skill. However, once you are still young, if you are still at school, that's the best time to use the unique opportunity to build the skill of learning, or in other words, to strengthen your muscle of learning. So what does it take to be good at learning? What does it take to be a strong learner? What does it take to have a strong learning muscle? I believe there are three major things that are required for that. Well, first of all, it's infrastructure, a place where you train, or the space, platform, call it whatever you like. The second thing is a good trainer, right? You need someone who will be looking after you, supporting you in your training and learning experience, giving advice. Some of the presenters were calling it a mentor. That's a great word to describe a trainer, or someone who is actually helping you in exercising your learning muscle. And the third bit is probably, let's call it the team or the partners. You cannot and you don't want to do things alone. And therefore, for a good quality learning, you need to have a team around you. Someone who has a similar objective, someone who can support you when it's tough and share the joy when you are winning. So all these three things, and where do we find those things, right? You need to find a place where you have a good infrastructure, where you have a trainer, and where you have a team. And that all together allows you to exercise your muscle of learning, allows you to be prepared for the future. Actually, there is a place like that, and we are in this place at the moment. This is ISM. ISM is a place where you can connect all three dots, where you have an infrastructure, where you have a trainer, and where you have a team of peers who will be training with you together, learning with you together. It is, ISM could be your partner where you could get two important things. Well, first of all, create a foundation of knowledge and skills for your future career. The foundation that would help you to launch a career and accelerate your career. And it doesn't matter which career you choose, whether you're going to be going for becoming an executive, or you want to start your own business and be an entrepreneur, or you want to focus on one or another area very deeply and become an expert. So in all three cases, you could build a knowledge and skills that are required for the successful launch and acceleration of your career. Next to that, you can develop a will and a skill to be a lifelong learner. And being a lifelong learner will help you to be one step ahead, one step closer to the future and one step ahead every day. And that will allow you to make an impact while living your purpose. Basically, be happy and change the world to make it a better place. So thank you very much for being on at this event with us. Thank you all the people who have contributed. This is a great gift for our community, and good luck in building your dreams. Thank you.
Thank you, Dalius. That was the president of ISM University. And time has really blown by. We've reached the end. And well, before we say goodbye, a very important thing. We would like to announce the winner of the Slido competition that we had, the questions that we had after the first initial presentation. And the winner is Angelika Kotryna Buividaitė. Congratulations, you weren't only the one who answered all of the questions, you answered them with the utmost speed and were the fastest one. So we'll contact you. If not, contact us. You will definitely get your gift. Another big thank you is to our partner Delfi TV for the broadcast. And one more thank you, not the final one today, but one more thank you to another partner of ours, Zip FM, for spreading the word about ISM Insider.
And we would like to remind you that ISM's early admission has already started, so go to apply.ism.lt to enroll now and reserve your place at the university right now before your exams. And also, those who apply until February 1st will receive amazing benefits, so don't miss your opportunity. And for more information, go to ism.lt. So once again, thank you to all our amazing guests and to all our amazing team for such an extraordinary time. Thank you, Džiugas. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, Eglė, and thank you to the whole ISM University for inviting us. It was definitely a pleasure, and goodbye.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye.